Today I'm going to make carrot spice cake for my son's birthday. Today's my son's 12th birthday. The carrot spice cake in this recipe book is very good. I've had it numerous times, and the credit is given to Dana de Blasi. Let's get started. Oh, let's see. The first thing that we need, it says preheat oven to 350 degrees, grease and flour a bundt pan. I'm actually not going to use a bundt pan. I'm going to use a 9x13 pan because it's my son's birthday and he wants birthday cake. It says in a large bowl at medium speed, cream oil and sugar until well mixed. And it says beat in egg yolks one at a time, beat in water, sift together dry ingredients, and add to egg mixture. It says stir in nuts. I'm actually not going to put nuts in mine because my daughter just happens to be allergic to walnuts and pecans, and those are the nuts that it calls for. It says beat egg whites to soft peaks. Fold into batter. Pour into prepared pan. My pan is the 9x13. Bake 1 hour at 350 degrees. Cool on a wire rack for 15 minutes before removing it from the pan. All right, let's get started. First thing we're going to need is a mixer. I'm going to use my KitchenAid. The first thing we're going to do is add our oil and our sugar to our bowl. 1.5 cups of oil and 2.5 cups of sugar. These are my favorite measuring cups simply because the handles are actually part of the measuring cup, so they never break. These things last forever. 1 cup of sugar, 2 cups of sugar, 2.5 cups of sugar. Now I need some oil. Oil, 1.5 cups of oil. Next we will cream those together until well mixed. You can't mix it for too long. Next is 4 egg yolks. We're also going to use the egg whites, but we're going to do that later. Carefully separate your egg whites, and you can put the egg yolks right in. Those eggs came out of the coop today. It says to beat in the egg yolks one at a time. I don't really think it matters that much. That's why I dumped them all in. This recipe actually calls for 5 tablespoons of hot water, which I find very odd, but I'm going to follow the recipe exactly as it is. My favorite measuring spoons, same reason as the measuring cups. The handles are part of the measuring spoon. They never break. This is my water. I measured it into the 1/2 cup measuring cup that I had already used. It'll help get some of the oil out of there. Oh, let's see, what's next? It says to beat in the water. Now it says to sift together the dry ingredients and slowly add them to the mixture. 2.5 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of nutmeg, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, and 1 teaspoon of ground cloves. I'm going to do that in a separate bowl. This is a stainless steel bowl that was also my mother's from probably 50 years ago or more. Flour, 2.5 cups of flour. I'm going to use the 1 cup that I already used for the oil, but I'm going to have to wipe it out because always spoon your flour into your measuring cup. 1 cup of flour. Sifter, there's 2 cups. 1/2 cup. 2.5 cups total. Don't be surprised if I'm covered with all kinds of stuff when I'm done doing this video. Nutmeg, cinnamon, cloves. 1 teaspoon of each. Look at this. Big one on this side. Little one on this side. How do you do that? Guess I'm just gonna use the cap to level it off. Nutmeg. 1 teaspoon of cloves. 1/4 teaspoon of salt. 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. Baking powder. 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. Now it says to sift those together. Here we go. Oh, I never greased or floured my pan. Grease. Shortening. Make sure your pan is very well greased and floured. Oh, lost a little. I also forgot to grate the carrots. I'm guessing it's going to be about 3 carrots, but we'll see. I'm flinging carrots everywhere. I always eat the last little piece rather than grating my fingers. Now that I've got carrot everywhere, did I mention this is for my son's 12th birthday? Only 12-year-old I know that prefers carrot cake to any other and doesn't like chocolate cake. Go figure. Add the carrots to the other. Carrots. And we're just going to put this on low until the flour mixture is all incorporated, just barely. Use a rubber spatula to scrape down the sides. Then run for 10 more seconds. Now, the only other thing to do is to beat the egg whites to soft peaks. I'm actually going to use my other KitchenAid mixer to do that. That's better. Now we need to fold this meringue into the rest of the cake batter. You want to be careful not to take the air out of the meringue. Don't forget to preheat your oven like I did. You want to fold it until it's just barely all incorporated. How'd that carrot get in there? Now we're going to pour it into the pan. Oh, it looks lovely. As soon as your batter is in the pan and your oven is preheated to 350 degrees, you can put it in the oven. We're going to bake it for 1 hour. Not too bad today. I didn't get a whole bunch of flour on myself like I usually do. Dun, dun. This recipe actually works out perfectly for a 9x13 pan, even though it calls for a bundt pan. Once this cake is cooled, I'm going to make a cream cheese frosting for the top because that's my son's favorite and it's for his birthday. Doesn't this look perfect? Carrots. As you can see, I baked the cake, I cooled it on a rack, and now I have frosted it, but I forgot to take video of all of that. So here it is, completed. I know it's not the prettiest. It wasn't meant to be a pretty cake. It's for my son's birthday, and he doesn't care what it looks like. What he cares about is how it tastes. That's why we made carrot cake.